نشرت السلطات السعودية تحذيرات واسعة النطاق خوفا من هجوم إلكتروني بدا وشيكا على كبرى المؤسسات والمواقع باستخدام الفيروس شمعون 2.
شمعون 2 يواصل لليوم الثاني على التوالي هجومه على أجهزة أكثر من 20 جهة حكومية وخاصة في السعودية.
فيروس شمعون ليطل من جديد مهاجما العديد من الأنظمة الإلكترونية للهيئات والشركات السعودية.
طل فيروس شامون مجددا، ولكن نسخته الثانية كانت أكثر فتكا من سابقتها، فالضحايا هذه المرة 22 جهة حكومية وخاصة.
قدرت شركة سيمانتك العالمية تكلفة الهجمات الإلكترونية على الأفراد السعوديين ب 527 مليون دولار في 2013، ولفتت إلى أن التكلفة المباشرة للهجمة الإلكترونية على الفرد تبلغ حوالي 187 دولارا، مضيفة أنه على مستوى الشركات فالهجمات تكلفتها مرتفعة جدا لأنها تنعكس في أضرار مثل سمعة الشركة وإنتاجيتها والقوى العاملة فيها. وذكرت سيمانتك أن السعودية تحتل الترتيب الرابع عالميا في شراسة الهجمات الإلكترونية بسبب البنية التحتية الضخمة في مجال تقنيات المعلومات.
تعرضت مواقع حكومية سعودية إلى هجمات إلكترونية قاسية من فيروس شمعون أدت إلى تضرر بعض أنظمتها وتوقفها عن العمل وسط متابعة مجتمعية واسعة لما تشكله هذه المواقع من أهمية وارتباطها بحياة الناس وأعمالهم، في الوقت الذي لم تنجح جهات عدة في حماية أنظمتها من هذه الهجمات نجحت أخرى في صدها، ما يترك باب الأسئلة مشرعا حول مستوى الأمن الإلكتروني في الجهات الحكومية والتجارية الرسمية.
وقعت شبكات إلكترونية سعودية حكومية ضحية لشمعون، الفيروس الذي حاول اختراق البيانات لتدميرها إلكترونيا. شمل وزارات العمل والتنمية الاجتماعية والاتصالات وتقنية المعلومات والنقل. ويعد فيروس شمعون أحد أكثر الأسماء المرعبة للأجهزة الحاسوبية لاستهدافه كبار الشركات حول العالم وقيامه بتعطيل أجهزة الحواسيب الخاصة بها عن طريق إلحاق الضرر بملفات الإقلاع في الحاسوب ليصبح صاحبه غير قادر على تشغيله مجددا. وأرجع خبراء في مجال التقنية ما حدث بأنه نتيجة لضعف الحماية وعدم وجود أمن معلوماتي متكامل، بالإضافة إلى ضعف حصانة مواقع بعض الجهات الرسمية.
Okay. Another thing I think we alluded to in both talks basically is that the original problem with the internet. Internet worked great at the beginning when everything was clear and it was used for research purposes basically. But the problem is that security was not considered at the early stage. It was an afterthought. Well, after we did a lot of things, we don't have security and anybody can hack anything, and we started patching up the internet with secure protocols and stuff. And unfortunately, until this day, we still, or some misconfigurations still use things that are not actually secure, like Telnet, TFTP, and so on. Are we doing the same mistakes in Internet of Things? Because basically what we're seeing right now, unfortunately, this is what's happening. People are installing all kinds of stuff without security or without thinking about security, because we're more thinking about convenience and ease of use. Oh, and my fridge can talk to my toaster, but who cares about who can see the communication?
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. What's really interesting is the same thing that happened with the internet on connectivity, we're seeing happen on data assets and transformation. If you think about it, a lot of information was consumed before we even knew, before we could trust the sensors or the systems that made up how it was consumed. And now it's used as a baseline for a lot of analysis. Also, data assets have been mixed, and new capabilities and information have been created from them through transformation and analytic processes, again with no thought to maintaining the heritage of it, understanding the original source and norm, right? So none of that's happened. So we're doing the exact same thing in the Internet of Things that we did in the Internet, except it's less about connectivity, because I actually think we learned those lessons. But it's more about the data assets and data transformation capability and the lineage and heritage and integrity. We're not coming up with good ways to make those trusted decisions, and it's definitely a serious issue.
Another thing I think you alluded to in your talk is that basically the future cyber warfare or cyber espionage, I think that we will have a major new attack vector, which is basically the Internet of Things, whether it's industry or machine to machine, or even at the home level, in addition to SCADA systems and whatnot. I think this is where we are going to see the major attacks and for the upcoming cyber war and whatnot. So is there any advice on how to actually prepare for it before it happens? Unfortunately, it's already happening. You heard about the dam in the U.S. that was hacked by some Iranian group and whatnot. So any thoughts about how to prepare for this in advance in one way or another way?
I think the first thing is to solve the trusted connectivity piece in a more a scalable way. So it's great to see the kinds of work going on in things like Scion, because I think that's absolutely vital. Most of the attacks that you're seeing today are based on legacy weaknesses in the infrastructure itself and in the core protocols. So just like the dam, and just like the incidents that you've seen even here over the years, they're all about connectivity and denial of service or service removal. The big thing right now, though, is to really start to get control over what decisions we're making on the information assets, because what we're starting to see now is basically changing and adaptations to information sets by nation states and other rogue elements, and we're not really tracking that. So it's one of these things, I hate to say it, but the boil the frog concept, right? So we're slowly turning up the heat by slowly making changes to the data sources the data sets that we rely on to make decisions. But unfortunately, by the time we figure it out, oops, we're already cooked, right? So it's not so getting very focused on understanding how we're using information and how to protect it now, so that we don't wind up with these sleeping elements is critical, but very much alongside of connectivity, because the only way you get to that information asset is, of course, through some kind of penetration or attack along the way.
Maybe I can talk a little bit about the network level implications of having this Internet of Things. People have mentioned or have discussed amplification attacks, where you send a small packet to some device and it responds with a larger packet. And a lot of the current DDoS attacks in the internet are based on those types of responses. So some of the Internet of Things protocol enable much larger responses than the request, and so you can really amplify your bandwidth by a lot if the adversary sends and packets to destinations that then respond to the victim with much larger responses, and thus flooding the victim. From a Scion perspective and from our research group's perspective, we're very happy about these types of issues, because we're essentially resolving network level DDoS attacks in our protocol by construction. And so at the end host, there's still denial of service on the end host, and I think we've learned with ways how to deal with those if packets can get to the end destinations. So that's our. So in a way, we're happy about these attacks, because they accelerate the desire to get to a system that has better properties.
That's a very good point.
Absolutely.